Anyways, Footloose. I had never seen this before. This was on the list for a long time, actually, and it just same with Son of the Mask. It was also on the list for a long time, and they both just happened to come onto Tubi at the same time. So it was like, boom, that's the list this week. And yeah, Footloose. Kevin Bacon plays a character called Ren, who's moving with his mom into a small town from Chicago, and they don't allow dancing in the town. It's illegal to dance
It's been outlawed.
in the town because it leads to fucking basically. And the Reverend, played by John Lithgow, does not like the dancing. He's the main advocate for no dancing. And I don't know. This movie's fucking. It's kind of cheesy. It's kind of dumb, but it's also very, very fun. I liked it a lot actually. I laughed out loud quite a bit. The music is great in it. It's a good soundtrack. Kevin Bacon's ass is looking good. This movie's good. But no, for technically good, I'd say for an 80s like this kind of movie, it is at least technically good, at least a little bit. But it is that sort of cheesy, good feel movie, and the scene
Super cheesy.
absolutely. And there's a scene where Kevin Bacon's really mad about not, the whole not being able to dance thing. So he goes to an abandoned warehouse and he does an angry dance and he like drinks a beer and smokes a cigarette angrily while dancing. And he like
And they came out of nowhere. Did you notice that?
and he swings on a chain. What was that?
The cigarette and beer came out of nowhere.
It did sort of seem like I did sort of feel that it just sort of I just sort of let it. I chopped that up to editing. That like he just sort of like maybe he was in the car and he grabbed it when we didn't see or something. But like yeah, it was a little weird. I agree. But that scene I've seen. I feel like I had seen that scene before, even though I hadn't, because it's been parodied so many times in like a million different things. Like Family Guy's Family Guy's done it. Hot Rod's done it. Tons of cartoons. I think I've seen it in more than one cartoon. But no, yeah, and I can see why. It's pretty funny. It's just like who goes to angrily dance in a warehouse. But that's why that's part of like why it's so 80s. I think it's so fun. It's like it's just something that only the 80s would do. I feel like, and I enjoyed it. That's one of the best scenes. We had to talk about that scene, but overall it's pretty fun. We got the romance between Kevin Bacon and this girl, who is John Lithgow's daughter, which of course leads to conflict, because John Lithgow don't like the dancing. And again, proves that Ren want to be doing the dance, and he wants to put on a dance. I can honestly sum up this movie real quick, basically, in a kind of funny way. So Kevin Bacon be like, "We want to have a dance. We want to dance," and then John Lithgow be like, "Dance is no good. It leads to fornicating." and then Kevin Bacon be like, "But look at the Bible. It says dancing in the Bible." And then John Lithgow be like, "Well, okay." That's basically the movie.
Jesus danced. He danced, damn it.
Yeah, I love that, the big speech. And I'm not gonna lie, I really like. It's easy to work up my emotions in films, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I cried tears of happiness during this film for that scene, for like the cheesy speech where he's talking about dancing. I was like, you know what? You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. And okay, I won't do the whole song. But oh my god, your picture fell off. The tape, the tape must be running thin. Yeah, it's not very sticky anymore. Let's try to do it again anyway.
Do it upside down, yeah.
No, that would be too crazy, even for this stream. Oh, well.
I love the caressing. Oh yes.
It's up for now anyway. back to Footloose. Footloose, kick off your Sunday shoes. They use the song a lot, which I guess is fine, but the third time of hearing the song, it's like, okay. Like they do it at the beginning, in the middle, and in the end of the film. They play the song, and yeah, at the end of the movie, obviously it's gotta end with like a fun dance bit. Like, I get that, but questions about that scene. What's up with everybody in this town where dancing is illegal? Knowing how to dance really well, like doing these crazy breakdance moves and stuff. I mean, it's possible that these people were like dancing in secret, you know, and learning how to dance. But they didn't show that, you know. I don't know that, so who's to say? So that's a very minor note that doesn't really bother me, but I thought it was kind of funny.
They actually all had a cousin move from Chicago and teach them how to dance on their farm.
Yeah, they just didn't show it. It was off screen.
Just didn't show it.
Yeah.
It was happening to every person in town.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about the tractor fight. That's good.
The chicken fight.
Yeah, chicken fight. So they get on tractors and they like go.
Chicken.
They go slowly into each other and see who jumps off first, I guess. And yeah, this scene. There's a bit to talk about with this scene actually, because I have some questions again. Because Kevin.
I need a hero.
Yeah, that. Okay, let's start with that. Good point. So, good song choice, for sure. But it's kind of funny that like they were just waiting for it, and he had like his radio with a cassette player or whatever. We're just ready to go with that song. He's like, okay, we're doing the chicken fight. Cue Bonnie Tyler, baby. Boom.
Yeah.
Holding up for a hero. I thought that was funny. And then, you know, they're coming close to each other with the tractors. And Kevin Bacon, his shoe is caught on the accelerator. But I don't, like, was that a shoelace? Like, I don't get where, like, what was that thing that was catching him? Was it a shoelace? It looked weird. It looked like it was like a plastic band. So I don't know, that part looked a little weird to me.
That was either a brake or a clutch that his lace was caught in, but he just couldn't jump off.
Oh, it was his lace. It was his lace. It was his shoelace. That's what I thought. Okay.
And he just couldn't jump off was the issue. He didn't even want to stop the tractor.
Yeah, it's true. He was gonna jump off. But then Kevin Bacon ends up winning because the other guy jumps off instead, because Kevin Bacon could not jump off because he was attached to the tractor. But you know.
And you can't just drive that tractor like super fast onto a hillside, because they're kind of like in a ditch and there's like water down below.
Yeah. And
yeah, you could tip that thing real easy, but.
G-Bergs with the tractor science.
What's that?
G-Bergs with the tractor science over here.
Tractor facts.
Yeah.
I grew up around a few.
I know, that's cool, man. I'm glad we have an expert here to discuss the logistics of it. But anywho, what else to say about this film? Kevin Bacon's pretty good. This movie is compared to Dirty Dancing, I think, sometimes. But I think this movie's better than Dirty Dancing. I said it. But I didn't hate Dirty Dancing, but I feel like it's a little more boring than this. Like, this is really fun. Like from the beginning to the end, it's like it doesn't miss a beat with like action, comedy, dancing, comedy, action, whatever, you know, it's fun. And there's more action sequence than I thought would be in a dance movie. There's a part where the Ariel is the love interest name. She got one foot in a truck and she got one foot in her friend's car, and they're
driving down the highway.
Yeah, and they're friends, and there's a truck coming on close to them, so obviously their friends are like, you know, get in the car. And she's like, no, I'm crazy. Whoa, I don't want to get in. She doesn't say that, but that's basically what. Because it's crazy. Because, like, I don't know. I would have fucking gotten in so fast. But of course, they have to leave it till the last fucking minute to get the most out of the sequence. To make
how did you feel about how quick she got in the truck? Sorry to cut you off.
It did seem a little crazy, but I let that slide because it was, you know, it's a movie. The editing it made it seem like it was just barely possible. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I thought it was okay.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, she had to jump from the car to the truck. Crazy stunt. I like that. I like this movie.
It looked like they had a real person up on those cars too. Like it was obviously they had to have. It was a real stunt.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's the thing with movies. Like, I think, what year was this movie?
84 it came out, so
Yeah.
like making it in 83.
For sure. I'm gonna look it up on the IMDb.
I had that thought today comparing it to Dirty Dancing actually, because their plots are kind of similar in that someone doesn't want someone to dance.
Yeah, exactly.
But I thought that I thought Footloose was better because it's literally outlawed in the town. Like in Dirty Dancing, it's not outlawed at all. So it's just her dad being stupid.
This raises the stakes for sure. And have you seen the remake of this movie?
Yes, and I was gonna mention that earlier when you talked about. Well, it's just a cheesy, fun '80s movie. But I don't think this movie works in any other decade.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree, because I feel like even in the 80s it might have been a stretch for like a small town to be having dancing illegal. Like I know that like I feel like this for sure happened, this kind of thing, but like in the 80s, really? Maybe not. Maybe it did, but I don't know. So to that point, but like it's just believable, but to the point of to do it in the 2011 or whenever the remake came out, it's even more unbelievable, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just watching the trailers playing in the background on IMDb. Oh my goodness! Look at all that shit that happened in this movie. Oh yeah, the part where the town council meeting we sort of addressed, but I was like almost mad for a second because I didn't think they were gonna let Kevin Bacon speak, but then the guy, because of course John Lithgow was like, it's bad, dancing's bad because it'll make you be loose and fornicate and do drugs. And then everybody in the town's like, here, let's vote on it immediately. And I was like, come on, you gotta let Kevin Bacon speak. But then of course they let Kevin Bacon speak. So I like that. It left some suspense for it. They didn't just do it right away. I like that little bit. Because they could have, little things like that make a big difference actually.
Well, I think that's why this movie is so loved by a lot of people, is because it's cheesy and fun. Some stuff is like clunky, but throughout there's some decent acting and good scenes put together. Like even Ren and his family stuff, it's believable. It's like it's not cringy. Well, at least it's not to me anyway. Like him and his mom are fighting, and then he gets into it with his uncle a little bit, and just there's heartfelt, believable scenes throughout it that are well made, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I've never seen this before, but I mean, I've said very little negative. Like, there's some things that maybe don't make a lot of sense, but for the most part, it's pretty good. At least entertainment-wise. Like, there's some cheesy, ridiculous stuff, but that's part of the charm. And yeah, the whole... Then there's a part where they're trying to get the dance to happen in the town, but then the town doesn't allow it. But then we get to see, of course, they put it on in a town a little bit of ways, which is cool. And I like how everything was sort of resolved with John Lithgow. So at the end of the movie, they have to add in a little bit of conflict. So like, let's bring that Chuck guy back and make him just have a big old fist fight in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And it was, I like that, of course. I enjoyed it. Ooh, I know what we haven't talked about yet. The character Willard. So he's his friend.
Played by?
I don't know. Oh look, I have the IMDb.
Christopher Penn.
Oh.
Sean Penn's brother.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Cool. But yeah, so let's talk about this. So the way that Ren, Kevin Bacon, and Chris Penn, Willard meet in this movie is they're in school and they bump into each other and then they start like insulting each other. it's one of those moments. I feel like this happens in a lot of movies where like you fucking idiot or whatever, and then they're like, but hey, let's be friends now. And it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but it never does for me for this kind of thing. But that is like a trope in a lot of movies, so I guess I'll let it slide. But it's a little.
Can I interject for a second?
Always, please do.
I think just because I'm a shit talker personally, grew up doing it, never will stop doing it.
Yeah.
So, and I talk shit to my friends all the time. Like, it's, because I grew up doing it with my brothers, probably, is what that is. But when I do it with friends, and I have met friends this way, because you give them a little shit talk, and you see how they react to it.
Yeah.
And if, they crumble or they get upset or whatever, obviously this person is not someone you're going to want to fuck with. So I think that scene is like, he bumped into him, he's a little bit pissed off. But when he says something and then Ren says something even snappier back, and it's like, hey, this guy's all right, kind of like, he's like me, and then he'll shit talk and he can take a joke.
Yeah, I guess it works for the movie, and I suppose, like you said, it makes sense to a certain extent. I just would never do that, so it's kind of weird to me. But yeah, that's to like someone you don't know anyway. Obviously, I like fucking shit talking too. There goes your picture again. I might put on new tape, but yeah, no, I think that works for the movie.
Did you like Chris Penn's performance?
Yeah, I thought he was good. I'm gonna, you go ahead and talk if you can. I'm gonna try to fix your picture real quick.
Oh, okay.
Do you have anything else you got?
We also got a young Sarah Jessica Parker in this movie.
Oh, is that who the one girl is? Oh, I didn't realize.
She plays like the best friend of the love interest. I don't even know who plays Ariel though, because she didn't do a lot of movies. That lady. Not a lot of movies that I've seen anyway. Maybe she has done some, but part of the plot is Lithgow doesn't want them partying and fornicating, but he also doesn't want them driving home because his son perished in a accident after some kids were driving home from a dance where they were partying and boozing it up, and they drove off a bridge by the sounds of it.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's John Lithgow is basically running from the memories of his son by not having any dancing around him or near him, because if there's a dance in town, he's reminded of his son going to a dance and dying, which is pretty unfair to everyone else.
Exactly. And there's a scene where Ariel is like, because that's her dad, is like, he's listening to classical music, and she's like, well, why is that music okay? And he's like, well, it's uplifting and it's good or whatever. and she's like, oh, well, to heck with it. And she's like about to say something, but then doesn't end up saying it. But then, of course, that leads up to the later confrontations in the film. Let's talk about Chuck.
I was just going to say, we get some pretty disturbing scenes of abusive relationship and full-on domestic violence scene.
That's true. It's not good.
Not that it happens at the house, but you can kind of tell they're just hooking up more or less. And Chuck also is like 30 years old. Like, he looks 30 in this movie. Yeah. Everyone else is like, they're like probably 20 to 25, but kind of look like they could be 18 possibly. Yeah. But Chuck is like a full-blown man and driving a big truck around, and Ariel's got these dumbass red cowboy boots she's wearing.
She thinks she's
and
so
she
cool.
Wears them over her jeans, which I hate so much when people do that. But
Captain Cowboy over here with the proper etiquette. Oh, right.
So, because there's a scene earlier where you could tell they don't get along so good, but they're just like into hooking up, and then they have a full-on fight later on, and she fucks his truck up, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, there's some good bits. There's a lot. There's like the movie's never really boring. It's pretty solid. I gotta say I really liked it. And that's cool. Yeah, I didn't realize it's Sarah Jessica Parker, but I know exactly who she is now that you mentioned that. Let's look at who's the character's name. Rusty.
Rusty, that's right. Yeah.
That reminds me of a thing that I thought was kind of weird again in this. By the way, SLXM Reaper tabbed. Thank you. There's a part where she's explaining about Kevin Bacon and like saying where he is to and like what he does kind of thing to Ariel, and she's like he works at this mill and he gets off at this time or whatever, and at midnight he sacrifices animals to I forget what the exact line is, but sacrifices something to the gods or something with blood sacrifices, and it's some crazy thing like that. But it's just like a joke, I guess. I had to rewind. I was like, what? Well, he doesn't do that. But I think that was part of the joke. It's like, he doesn't do that. But she's like sort of skeptical about getting to know this guy. So she's telling her something so ridiculous that it couldn't possibly be true. Or could it? That could be the twist, the sequel. Kevin Bacon's like murdering people. But no, that part was just kind of weird to me, but I guess it makes enough sense. I had to rewind it to understand it. But what else to say about this movie? The mama character, Vi Moore, Diane West, she's like the one who's for the dancing and trying to explain that John Lithgow is maybe a little bit incorrect with his strict rules on dancing. But sorry, were you gonna say something? I cut you off. Maybe.
I can't even remember. I took a hoot myself right before we started. So.
It's okay. Yeah, I used your bong a little while ago, by the way. On stream.
Deadly.
I cleaned it. It had the mold. It doesn't have the mold anymore. I'm gonna dump out the water after the stream, so that doesn't happen again.
Oh boy.
But yeah, being responsible with the bong.
As soon as you mentioned,
what's that?
As soon as you mentioned Diane West, I thought about the mom's performance, which I think is great in this.
Yeah, she did good.
She's solid.
Everybody's pretty good in the actor. I can't think of any bad actors that were really that bad. But yeah, the scene where Kevin Bacon walks in to the school for the first time and everyone's like, oh my god, he's playing rock and roll.
He's wearing a tie at school.
And he's playing rock and roll music on the radio and stuff. It's kind of funny.
Just blaring it out of his VW Beetle.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember. I was gonna ask you what you thought of a scene, not to get too specific, but right at the beginning of the movie, they're at this drive-in.
Oh yeah.
Little diner place, and then a song starts, and everybody kind of starts dancing and shit.
Yeah, I know.
And then Lithgow shows up. I don't know why. I love that scene a lot. Like, the editing is really good, and they're showing all these different people.
Yeah. In
different spots of the diner and shit. I don't know why I love that, but
I like
it's super 80s too.
Yeah, no, I like that scene too. It was just kind of fun. It was also funny the way that John Lithgow's character reacts, because it's more light than you might expect. He's obviously not happy to see his daughter dancing. Because he turns off the music and it's I just was hoping that you had enough money for your milkshake or whatever, and then he leaves, but you can tell he's disappointed, and I think that's the weight of it, and that's maybe more heavy than if he would have just yelled at her. But so to answer your question, I like the scene, but I gotta say that the editing is pretty good in this all around. I'd say this ain't no Son of the Mask. The editing is coherent and it makes sense. For the most part, I'd say, and I can't think of really anything that was unsettling editing wise. But yeah, no, that scene was good. I agree. The different people dancing was cool. Because it was all in this little drive-in food place or whatever. Yeah, it was cool. You got anything else to say? I'm running out of stuff to say. I might end this one soon, unless.
I was just gonna jump back to a thought we had earlier, which was, it could only really be made in the 80s. The reason I said that is because I feel like people were like dancing was just more prevalent back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, probably in the 50s too. Like because we didn't have as many outlets and or entertainment.
Yeah.
So readily available.
The internet. Now everyone's just on the YouTubes and they're not dancing.
They're on the Netflix, they're on the YouTubes, they're on the Hulus and Crave TV and everything. You know what I mean? Like
Tumblr.
We have so much stimulus. There's not a ton of people just going out to dance, especially like community wise. Like,
oh yeah,
hey, I saw you last week, like, or what, anything.
Maybe
like
in
that.
a small town though, but still, yeah, I get what you mean. It's not the same.
So like, even in the 2011 one, it didn't really make sense because they're doing like grinding and stuff.
Unless they would have said it, like they could have said it in the 80s, and then it would have
exactly.
Made, like,
you could have done a period piece, and in the 80s they were actually dancing. And I feel like we should mention the country bar scene where they drive to the next county where it's not illegal, and they go to a country bar.
Yeah.
It's like Outlaws on steroids.
Yeah. The bar in Saskatoon.
Yeah, they get to dance and they switch to partners, and Rusty, who is Willard's love interest, she ends up dancing with this big beer gut cowboy. And then Willard gets all pissy and insults the guy, and then...
Because Willard's like, I don't know how to dance, so he didn't want to dance, but then he's just watching Sarah Jessica Parker dance with some guy, and then eventually he's like, I don't like it, and then they get in a fight. And then they have to go. Because it's all
well, not even a fight. He just gets decked.
Yeah, to be fair, you're right.
Sucker punch.
He does just get beat up, so you're right. But in a way, it's a fight. Because he started it, so it's sort of a fight still, even though it didn't last long.
That's a great scene. It's got some good dancing, and not a bad movie.
Yeah, no, I like this film. I'm glad I watched it. It was on like I said, it was on the list for a long time. And when I saw it on there, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is this week for sure. We're doing this one." But yeah.
Glad I could join you.
Me too, man. It was a pleasant surprise. You never know what's happening on Booty Quiver TV. To get it today, and now we got your tape on proper, so your picture's staying up nice and beautiful.
Right on.
With that forever preserved perfect stash on top of the speaker there. But yeah,
it looks just like that right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Good. Man, I've been thinking about making my beard combo into just the mustache, taking out the beard rather. And I've done it before. It's a good look. It's a good look. But I'm going to say goodbye to you, my friend. But then say hi to you in the chat. And thank you for. Oh wait, no. Before you go, sorry. What do you give this out of 10?
I'm going to give it 8.5 out of 10.
8.5 out of 10. I'm going to give it solid 8. I think it's quite good. I liked it. It's better than Dirty Dancing. I'm going there. It was just more fun. I had more fun watching it than Dirty Dancing. And like you said, good point. The stakes are higher because it's the whole town. It's illegal to dance. That's crazy. Unlike in Dirty Dancing, the one guy's just like, I don't like you dancing dirtily or whatever,
Yeah.
But anyway, real small note though, one point going to Dirty Dancing, very small point. I think Patrick Swayze is hotter than Kevin Bacon, but
you're absolutely right.
But very mild note. Better movie though, Footloose. And Kevin Bacon's still hot. Footloose. I don't want to disrespect Mr. Bacon. Canadian icon. But yeah, I'm gonna put on a beat. But yeah, thank you, G-Bergs, for being here, my friend.
Thanks for having me, Doug.
This was excellent as always. Until next time, and I'll see you in the chat. Goodbye, my friend.
Cheers.
Bye. Alright, there we go. And now I put on a song or a beat, whatever you want to call it. Beats are songs, sort of, in a way, right? Instrumentals. This is Aliens Are Real instrumental by Patrick Jenkins. And yeah, honestly, this movie was really quite good. I would recommend it. The 1984 one, it's on Tubi for free. Right now, the titles change quite sporadically on there, so check it out. Yeah, just fun. There's some cheesy bits, but it's for the most part pretty entertaining from the beginning to the end. And yeah, I've said pretty much all I want to about it. So 8 out of 10 Dogs. Footloose. 8 out of 10 Ducks.